Hello everybody and welcome back to another Chats with Jackson and Friends. Today we've got a very special guest, an Aussie icon even if you will. Dave Hughes is coming on for a bit of a walk and a bit of a chat. It'd be good to get a bit of background on the old Hughesy and see what he's up to future, post-COVID with stand-up comedy and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, let's go meet up with him. We're at the beautiful Hyde Park here in the heart of Sydney. Let's go have a chat. Alright guys, we're here with Dave Hughes. How you been, mate?
Yeah, good, Jackson. I've been great.
That's good.
Yeah.
What's happening in the life of Dave Hughes these days?
Well, we've just come from the radio show, doing a radio show in Sydney. We're in Hyde Park right now, in the middle of Sydney. So yeah, do the breakfast show here. It gets played nationally though at 6 p.m. around the Hit Network around the country.
So it actually goes nationally as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a truncated version.
Yep.
Which goes on for an hour at 6 p.m. So you can listen to it all over, or on the podcast, mate.
Oh, gee, the podcast
listener,
as well,
or the bloody it's available to people.
Tell you what, mate, you've come a long way from the Warrnambool days, that's for sure.
I'm actually representing my hometown of Warrnambool with his t-shirt.
Look at that, there you go.
Actually, so that's country Victoria, 3 hours drive west of Melbourne on the coast. It's a beautiful part of the world. It is an absolute magnificent part of the world. Great Ocean Road, you keep going for a half an hour and you're in Warrnambool.
So tell us how you went from Warrnambool to now pretty much an Aussie icon, mate.
Well, I appreciate that sentiment. Look, I started stand-up comedy when I was 22. So, mate, we're talking a long time ago. 1993 was my first gig.
I was
How old
3.
are you? You were born.
I was 3
at least
then.
you're alive, man. At least you're alive. So, I grew up in a country town. I dropped out of university.
Yeah.
I had a dream to do comedy when I was a young bloke, and I moved to Perth, actually. So my first gigs were in Perth for about a year.
Yeah.
Doing stand-up comedy at a little club over there in Northbridge, which is their night club scene area. So, mate, it went well pretty quickly.
Oh, that's
even though
good.
my first gig was horrific, no one laughed at all.
Well, that's probably good to get it out of the way first.
Mate, it was a horror, and I was actually living with a guy at the time called Rat, who's still a friend of mine. His nickname's Rat.
Good nickname.
And I got back to this flat where he was a bricklayer. I got back to the flat we were sharing in Scarborough, and he said, "How'd you go?" It was my first gig. He said, "How'd you go?" I said, "Not good." And he said, "You know why?" I said, "Not really." And he looked at me and said, "Because you're not funny, mate." So that was the support I had back in the early days. So,
well, that's a true mate, isn't it? One that's going to rag the shit on you.
Truth bombs. But he's since acknowledged he was wrong, and I am funny. And
can vouch for that.
Yeah, some people probably still agree with him, but whatever.
I was actually watching one of your old comedy shows not too long ago in Adelaide, about 12 years ago, I think it was.
Oh, yes.
Absolute ripper that one was.
Yeah, right.
I've got to ask now, though, like coming into this woke community that we have now, do you find it a lot harder to write comedy, especially for stand-up and stuff like that?
Oh,
not everyone kind of gets offended about anything?
No, I don't think. Look, I think my comedy generally is fine, even from those days to now. So, look, you just use common sense, I think. Some people are always...
you're always going to get
people are going to get offended by whatever you say. You're always going to offend someone, but as long as you, in your own heart, know that you have good intentions, it's absolutely fine.
Okay, that's a fair point. If you could have any superpower in the world, what would it be?
Look, I'd love to fly. Let's be honest. I'd love to fly. I often dream. I dream sometimes I can fly, and they're good dreams. I look at the birds.
Those dreams are meant to mean something. I don't know what they mean, but there's a meaning behind flying. As long as you're not falling, I think falling's where it starts to...
Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah, look, generally I'm flying, I'm cruising around like a bird, and I'd love to be able to do that. I look at the birds and I think, gee, you guys have really got it made. You
know what you're doing. Life's sorted.
Hang out. Yeah, so flying.
Flying, that's a good one. So you are originally from Melbourne.
From country Victoria.
From country Victoria.
Victoria, everything. I've spent most of my life in Victoria.
Yeah. Coming into Sydney, how long have you been in Sydney now for?
I've been doing radio in Sydney for like 2 years, third year.
Third year.
Yeah. I've flown to Sydney and been in Sydney at least probably 1,000 or maybe 500. I've done a lot of TV in Sydney.
Yeah.
And I've done a lot of stand-up comedy in Sydney. I've spent a lot of time in Sydney, basically, over the last 20 years. Years.
Are you more of a rugby man now or an AFL man? Have you been converted?
AFL is in my blood. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But I do like the league. I'm a league guy. I'm a Parramatta Eels fan.
Okay.
Melbourne Storm, I've got a soft spot for them, but I do like the Parramatta Eels, and I appreciate rugby league, and I love watching it.
It's a hard sport.
But mate, I love all sport. I'm really got into the NBA.
Big NBA. Who are you going for in the NBA?
I'm a patriot, so anyone who's Australian. Josh Giddey, if you want to follow an Australian on the way up, Josh Giddey's 20 years old and absolutely killing it for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
There you go.
Yeah, he's killing it.
Killing it. I've got to, so the reason why I'm bringing up AFL is because you're a Blues man, aren't you?
Carlton in the AFL, yes.
I'm a Collingwood man.
Yeah, so's my mother. So, and I wish you no success in that. My mother's 82 and she loves AFL. She loves the Collingwood Football Club, and I hope they lose every week. Even if they're not playing Carlton, I still want them to lose.
You must have been shattered the last game of the season last year. Where
it was terrible, yes. So for anyone who doesn't know, Carlton haven't been in the finals for 10 years.
Yeah.
We were in the top 8 for the whole season this year until the last 30 seconds of the game of the final round, where Collingwood, who were up
the arch enemies.
We're about 25 points up on Collingwood.
Yep.
They came back and beat us. I was there with my son. It was horrific. I was in a daze. I was like demented after the game.
I think a lot of people were. It was a very heartbreaking. Even I felt for you guys.
And I don't want to hear about Collingwood supporters showing us sympathy. I was like, we're meant to get the train after the game. I said, I can't go on the train. I can't be around any Collingwood supporters. We rang my wife and she said, where are you? I said, I don't know. I'm in a daze. And she eventually turned up and she was on the other side of the ground. So I'm not walking past that ground again. I'm not doing it. And it was a shocking day.
I could imagine. I mean, for me, it was magnificent.
Yeah, I know it was. But
we got
it a few weeks later.
Yeah, we got served pretty hard afterwards, though. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, Dave. Like, obviously, we've had a lot of COVID, and we've had a lot of, it's been very hard for a lot of people.
Yes, it has been.
Coming like comedy, where you kind of rely on people inside generally.
Yes.
How have you felt doing stand-up since then?
Oh, I loved it. You know what? The thing is, you don't often realise you love something till it's gone.
Yeah,
true. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. So I've done stand-up comedy since 1993.
Yeah.
But in 2020, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
About March 2020, it got taken away for pretty much 2 years. And I realised how much I love it. That I love it more. I love my family, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But I loved stand-up comedy before I met my family.
Yeah.
So it's my
the first love. First love.
So yeah, if you find a chance to get me, if I'm around, come and see me. I really feel that's my element.
When are you doing shows? I know you're touring at the moment.
I am. Well, yeah, I've got shows on sale in all capital cities around Australia this year. So yeah, I'm around.
How do we get tickets for that, Dave?
Make Google. Yeah, they're available. So
just Google Hughes, you'll come up.
Often people come up to me and go, "Oh my God, I love you." Yeah, I'll be doing a festival and people come to me and go, "Oh, I love you, Hughesy." And I'm like, and they'll go, "What are you up to?" I said, "Mate, if you love me, Google me.
Figure it out.
See me. You asshole.
Do some work.
You really love me. You don't love me to say you just want a photo."
How do you feel? You're obviously a very recognisable person. How do you feel like having to deal with that majority of the time?
I'm absolutely fine. I've never, my fame in Australia increased gradually, so I'm not like somebody who went on reality TV and all of a sudden
like us vlogs,
all of a sudden everyone knows them. It was a gradual thing for me, and I'm happy to be recognised, but I am. But I can always go overseas and not be recognised. So it's pretty easy for me.
Well, you were just overseas, weren't you?
I just did some stand-up. I took the family to LA for a holiday, went to the NBA and Universal Studios. Didn't go to Disneyland because we went when they were tiny children and they can't remember. It's not my fault. They should have paid more attention.
Figure it out.
So I did some stand-up over there. And, it was good to do stand-up comedy where no one knows you.
Was it like kind of starting again?
Yes, it is. But also it's like being discovered again. It's like... Like they think, who's this gap-toothed freak? And then you make them laugh and they're like, fuck, this guy's funny. And they're like, where are you?
That rat.
Yeah, I'm
Cop
like,
that
rat. Even in LA, they think I'm funny, you asshole.
Yeah. Shows how you're no critic.
No, I did have a bad night the first night.
Oh,
but it's always, it's like anything. You don't take anything for granted.
Yeah.
You never know when the next crowd's not going to find you funny.
Well, that's good though. That kind of shows that you're resilient. You wanted something, you went for it. you know, you
You've
didn't
got
just
nothing to
give up.
lose. We've got nothing to lose in this life, Jackson.
100%.
Just enjoy it. We're all dust before we know it.
And you know what? If you try something and you fail, you're in the exact same spot as if you didn't try. So what's the point?
You've got nothing to lose, mate. You've got
Exactly
nothing to
right.
lose. Just get out and do whatever you want to do. You know, if it doesn't work out, just you got a story to tell your friends because they want to hear about your failures much more than they want to hear about your successes.
Well, they want to give you a bit of shit about it at least.
Exactly.
Dave, so you've obviously done a lot of stand-up in a lot of places. Where's the coolest place you've ever done a stand-up show?
The coolest. Oh God, good question. Look, I do enjoy. I've done the Montreal Comedy Festival a number of times.
Yep.
So that's obviously in Canada, and they speak French weirdly. So you know,
Quebec?
yeah, Quebecians or wherever they are. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. You know, I've had a standing ovation there once. You know, I walked on stage. I did the Comedy All Stars at that festival, and all the other All Stars were like, you know, they knew them. They didn't know me, so they're like, "Who's this wanker? Why is he an All Star?" And so all the other comedians got a standing ovation as they walked on. And then I walked on. No one stood up, and that's my opening line. Well, you're not going to stand for me, are you? So, but at the end of the gig, they stood.
There you
like
go.
I'd won them over.
You got them.
Maybe I'd guilted them into it. I don't know.
Hey, you take it. You take it. All right, Dave, if you had one last meal that you could eat, what would it be?
Look, I've gone vegan, man, so, you know, I'd probably...
Do you get superpowers when you're vegan?
I think it's good for your... I don't get as sore as I used to, you know, so I'm 52 now. And I'm not as inflamed. And I used to have to walk down the stairs sideways in the mornings because I didn't warm up. Now I can walk frontways down the stairs.
There you go.
But yeah, for the final meal, I'd probably get back on the meat and have a dim sim, to be honest.
Dim sim's all cabbage anyway, isn't it? Surely.
No, I don't know. Some sort of meat
There's
in there. I
something
don't know what's in there, but I do miss dim sims.
I do remember you, like I was saying, I watched one of your shows in Adelaide, and you were talking about that you were going vegetarian back then, and but you hated vegetables.
Yeah, that's still a problem. It's been decades of... Yeah, I just wish I loved vegetables more. Although I did have some vegetables the other day which were good. They had tamarind on them. What is that?
No idea.
I don't know either.
Is it like a spice or is it?
No, it's a saucy thing. Hello, how are you?
Jeez, we can't take this guy anywhere, can we?
It's just like One Direction, all 5 members in one guy.
Yeah, exactly, mate.
So,
the new Justin Bieber, or the old Justin Bieber, shall we say?
One that's,
the original.
Yeah, the OG. Still love you, Justin. So yeah, I can't remember what we're talking about, but yes, I don't love vegetables as much as I should for someone who only eats them. Yeah. Like potatoes, I love chips, man.
Chips, who doesn't love chips? Okay, what kind, are you sauce on your chips, chicken salt, what's the go?
I'm still trying to work out whether there's any chicken in chicken salt. Is there or not?
I
heard there wasn't. So
no, I don't think there is. I think it's like chicken stock, isn't it?
Is it though? But that would be chicken. I don't know.
Is chicken stock like the chicken stock cubes?
Is there any actual chickens in chicken salt?
Write in the comments, let us know.
Because if there's not, I'm going to continue to enjoy chicken salt. I love salt of all sorts.
Yeah, same. I'm a very big salt man.
I love salt, man. I like to pour it out and then just sort of roll my chips in it. Yeah. Like it's like I'm making a lamington with the coconut.
I feel you. Like if I'm going on a date with somebody and they tell me like not to have salt, don't insult me.
My wife, that was a great joke. My wife, like, because I pour salt on before tasting the food.
Yes.
She says that's a bogan thing to do.
I've been told, like, apparently that's a big insult to chefs.
Yes. No, I just love salt.
I think salt's a flavour enhancer.
You can never put enough salt on something. There's not enough salt in the world that's going to, I mean, you know. Radio boss wants to say something. I'll answer it.
Go on, shit.
Go away. I finished my shift for the day.
Well, that concludes our little walk and chat with Dave here today. Thanks for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Jackson. I've really enjoyed it, man. So you're doing a great job holding that bloody camera, you know. You're keeping it pretty steady.
It comes a bit hard. Look, I haven't dropped it. Oh, there we go, really. All right, guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
There we go, that concludes another Chats with Jackson and Friends. Absolute ripper having a chat with Dave. He's just a dead set Aussie bloke. Like, I've met him a few times out and he's the most genuine guy you'll ever meet. So yeah, so it was an absolutely honour to talk to him. Anyone else you'd like to kind of talk to, let me talk to, or you want me to talk to, leave a comment, let me know, subscribe, and put your notifications on. Have a good one, guys.